1,500 people on the waiting list, I have kicked 1,300 people off it. And it's because they're asking for ridiculous crap. Like, anybody want to take a wild guess at how much a Hellcat engine is? If you go to Dodge right now and buy a Hellcat engine with all the accessories, the computer, the wiring harness, and just get it in a crate, how much is that?
Probably about 15 G's.
That's what close to 50.
It's way closer to 50 than 15. See, you're those people. Sorry, you've just joined the list of the nuts. That's right. Yes. So, yeah, it's closer to 50 grand by the time you get everything. Now, can you put that engine in front of a standard transmission, a stock transmission? Oh, no. You better have at least a $10,000 transmission behind it. Are you going to put that in front of a standard differential? Oh, no. You better have... The differential system that we put behind those are $15,000. So if you've been doing the numbers, folks, we're already up to $75,000, and we haven't even pulled it out of the box yet. Now, once you do that, you better be dealing with gauges. Will a Hellcat run on gauges from a 69 Camaro? No, they won't. They run on PCM-controlled gauges. Depending on how custom that is, start at $2 grand, and you can certainly spend $5 grand on just the gauges. So now we've got $80,000 worth of parts. Folks, we haven't touched it yet. It's still in crates on the floor. You want me to now dissect your car, figure out how to integrate it. Wasn't that Thunderbird fun? Remember that little bastard? I mean, I lost 5 designers over that car because it was such a nightmare to put together. So we've got 80,000 in parts, and I would say minimum integration cost to get everything done is probably going to be $30,000 or so. So we've got a $110,000 project, and that's if you've got a strong chassis that can handle the torque and everything else. These people write me and say, I've got a $35,000 budget. That's nice. Oh, and by the way, they'll tell me about their sick mother, and they'll tell me, and my kid really wants this when I die so that I can pass it on to him. So won't you build me this $110,000 car for $35,000? No, and stop asking. And in fact, I've even put on my website, please stop giving me stupid and insulting requests, because you're only going to piss me off. And it really does. It's very insulting to get a request like that, right? I mean, who here has sold a car in the last 5 years? Just any car. You sold a car. What did you sell?
I sold 2 race cars.
But
A Lotus,
that doesn't help me.
a Lotus 23,
Okay, and what was your asking price on it?
25,
$25,000. And what did you get for it?
24.
24. If I had walked up to you and offered you $3,000 for it, what would you have said? Would I have been lowballing you, or would I have just been insulting you?
Oh, I don't even think I would have responded.
Right, exactly. You don't even want to respond, right? What you want to say is, and I can't say it right now, but you want to tell people to insert large things in very smelly caverns, right? You just want to, and typically they should have your eyes and your ears on them, buddy, when you stick them in your own dark and smelly caverns. And that's what you want to say to these people, but you can't. Because if I put that in somebody's email, then they post that online and say, Dan is such a dick. Look what he wrote to me, right? I gave him a very reasonable request, and he said to stick it up, And so I have to write them back and go, well, as much as I appreciate the fact that you want a $110,000 project for $35,000, I'm afraid that I can't help you. And then, of course, well, because if they start at that point, their next question is, well, I could throw another $5,000 at it. And you just at what point you just want to say, you know what, leave me the hell alone. Stop asking me stupid questions. Yeah.
I do enjoy the heartwarming stories that you do pick up for your show.
Well,
it's really cool to watch.
Well, thank you. And those are all real. Look, last year we had a really unfortunate accident. One of our customers had a very bad fall, and it had ultimately caused his demise.
I remember that.
Because he was already a customer and his family had sort of become part of our family, I made the decision to finish building his car for his family. I'm not going to tell you how much I lost on that, but it was a lot. I lost as much on that as the price of the first house I bought. Okay? And so it was not easy for me to do that, but I did that to help out the family. The problem is when you do something like that, 10 people will write you and say, well, do that for me now. And it's like, number one, I don't know you, and let's just, and I'm sorry, but unless you're going to tell me you're going to die in the middle of this build, the fact that I've had family members die too. I'm sorry, but nobody's building me a free, Lotus or Ferrari or anything else. So yeah, we deal with a lot of that, and I don't mind helping people out, and I will certainly be as honest and decent and never cheat them, but don't ask me to build you a $100,000 car for 20 or 30 cents on the dollar. And that's why there's 15, of the 1,500 or so, 1,300 of them are in the trash can. Yeah.
You know what I find amazing? I work for a major car dealer over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And what I find amazing is the things I'm hearing from you, the exact same things we experience there. It's just incredible.
It really is. See, one of the things we set out to do with this show was to do something really bizarre on TV. Why don't we tell the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, let's actually tell the truth. Let's not do ridiculous things and say you can flip a car and build it right in 1 week for $5,000. Because, folks, it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. And so we decided not to tell those lies. And it was really interesting because for the first year and a half, talk about black and blue, the internet bloodied me. I mean, people were writing, how can he rape people like that? And my favorite comment, because everyone knows you can restore any car for $20,000. Oh, they were all over the internet. I can't even buy the damn parts for 20 grand, okay, folks? So unfortunately, you have no defense against it. And I spent a year and a half in a really horrible depression over this show because of the unbelievably stupid people that get online. They don't know anything, but it doesn't matter that I don't know anything. I'm just going to say anything I want about you and just shred your soul because it's fun, And so I now get why people in Hollywood, and by the way, we are not stars of a show. We are mechanics that they're dumb enough to film, okay? And so, just so that we're clear, I try and tell everyone here, you are not a star, and we've had a few people that think they were, and we get rid of them very quickly. We are just mechanics. So, what? You have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, what's your question, Audrey?
Someone said, but we all know, Dan, producers don't let you tell the full truth.
Well, and you're right, they don't want you to, but we decided to, and I will tell you, at first the network was very, very nervous about this. They had they had never done this before. And they thought, well, you can't go out and actually say what really happens. And then we did. And suddenly they got all this, look, there's always going to be 5,000 idiots that are just going to just slam you. But there was 50,000 that said, thank you. Thank you for actually not trying to pump sunshine up our butts and tell the truth. And so the following got huge. And it just got bigger and bigger, and our momentum has just moved in an upward direction each time. So although there were 10% that are always going to be the bane of your existence, the other 90% actually came out and said, this is a really good thing. But yeah, look, we, as builders, if you're a real builder and you're really putting the time and the quality into something, very few customers will ever really understand what it takes, and they never want to pay the bill. And this is where James and I have, I probably cried in his beer on a couple of occasions saying, how do you do it? Because he faces the same challenges I do. It's just miserable. And the good news, so you asked the question about has the show made the list longer? It's made the list much longer, but one thing it's done is there is about 2% of the people that write in that actually get it. I mean, they get it right from minute one. I want you to do this. I'm not an idiot. I understand what it costs, and I'm willing to pay for it. And in that case, it's really nice to get that letter. And I do get them now. The other 90 I throw away. The 8% I talk to, the top 2%, I don't care what they have. I'll build them a freaking Red Ryder wagon if they understand what it's going to cost. Yeah.
How long does it take to build from frame up?
A frame-up build on a car, a muscle car, which is typically the easiest build you can do, tends to be about 14 months. If you're going to take on, and that's full-time, folks, I mean, that means we are ordering parts, working on it probably every single day of the week. And the only federal holidays we close for are Christmas, 4th of July, and Thanksgiving. That's it. We were open all the other days of the year. So, 14 months. Now,
Quincy's watching you.
What?
Quincy, the guy who's not here.
Oh, okay.
That
Hello,
took the
Quincy.
day
Why
off.
aren't you at work? Just kidding. He's supposed to be off today. But now let's talk about a car that I will never build again. A 56 Lincoln, a 53 Cadillac, a 65 Cadillac. Those aren't 14 months or 16 months. Those are traditionally 36-month builds, maybe longer depending on condition. So I've actually stopped. I will no longer ever take on another full build of a full-size luxury car. You will only lose money. I have lost anywhere from 50 to 100,000 on every one I've ever done. So I've stopped doing them. I no longer accept them. So if you guys want to submit one, I will save you your time right now. Don't even bother. We're not doing them.
Is this TV series your original idea?
Oh, hell no. You think I'm dumb enough to want to do something like this?
Whose idea was it?
Not mine. What happened was, there's my boy. That's my young lad. So Zachary's coming in. He's 13. He kicks my ass at ping pong and he pisses me off. So I've got a guy here that can beat him. So I'm gonna humble my son today. What was the?
How the truck started.
What's that?
How did this show originate?
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. What happened was a man walked in one day posing as a customer, and he was really a producer. And we talked for a couple... Come on in, Zachary! We talked for a couple hours, and at the end of a couple-hour talk, he said, we have to do a show here. And I said, no way in hell. What's going on, little buddy?
Good.
Oh, you going to sit here, or are you going to sit in there? Okay. Here, say hi. Say hi to everyone.
Hello.
No, say hi to...
We're on Facebook
Several
Live.
thousand people who are watching you there. All right. So you can grab a seat. Grab a seat. So after he spent a couple hours here, he said we're going to do a show, and I said I don't want to do a show, and he goes, well, look, let me at least shoot a promo reel here, because only about 1 in 1,000 promo reels will ever actually make air anyway. So you have a 1/110th of 1% chance anyway. So can we do that? And I said, okay, shoot a promo reel. We shot a promo reel, and I guess it was about 4 or 5 months later, I get a call from the vice president of the network, which is, I think, fairly unusual. And he said, we want to come down and see what's going on there because all of the executives within the network picked your promo reel as the best promo reel of the pile, of the 1,000 pile. And at that point, it's like, oh, crap. I said, all right, come on down. And they looked at it, and really, I was kind of expecting the promo reel was good, and it was a bit of a glitch because we don't like what we see. And they walked out of here, and before he did, I think it was the advertising and marketing guy from New York said, this is so much better than the promo reel. So at that point, they said, you have to do a show, and I rolled over and played dead, and we've been doing it for 5 years now. Yeah.
Has anyone ever refused to pay?
Has anyone ever refused to pay? Right now, I have one customer who has not sent me a payment in 4 months. So the short answer is that is the first time in the history of our company. One.
Do you deliver a car before it's paid for?
Oh, absolutely not. Look, I was dumb enough in the beginning to let people have their cars because the network wanted them to have their cars, and it was on TV, and we had to deliver it. Dan smartened up. It took me 1.5 seasons to sort of break the code on how to do it, but now you don't pay your bill, you no get your car. That's right. And right now I've got a customer who is refusing to pay his bill, hanging on to his car, and when his bill is paid, then we will continue to finish. And we're almost done with the build. We are 90% of the way through the build. Yes, sir.
Do all of your customers get on TV, or do you have customers that come in expecting to be on TV?
Oh, no, definitely not all the customers get on TV. We build cars outside of those that we build on TV. Do the customers expect to be on TV? There's actually as many that refuse to be on TV as sort of expect to be on TV. It's actually really interesting. Most of the people who come here, they come here because they want a car built. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a side part that says, well, if we can get a car built and this fun. But no, I have never yet had a customer that I've said, we'll do your car, but we won't do it on TV. I've never had a customer say, then I don't want to do it. Not once. So we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Do you ever get mad at the TV crew?
Do I ever get mad at do I ever? That's a dumb question. I get mad all the time at the TV crew.
You liked us today, though.
Oh, yesterday and today were two great days because not only was the TV crew just in exceptional form, and I will tell you, in all honesty, we have a really amazing film crew. They manage not to step on any toes 95% of the time, and that's really hard. Okay? So the 5%, and we're down now to 5% in all honesty. The first year, it was 95% stepping on toes, and only 5% of the time they didn't. So we're much better, but yes, I still get mad at the film crew.
How many times does a customer change their mind about paint?
Oh, I've got a customer right now that really nice lady. I've had at least 3 final definite, that is the color we're painting it, answers, and probably 5 other, this is the color I want, answers. Oh, customers change their minds about paint colors. That is the single most difficult thing for any customer to do here. We can pick out custom metalwork, and we can pick out wheels and tires, and we can pick out this engine over that one or this transmission over that one. But the thing that just stumps everyone is, what is the color of the car? And I have spent 6 months chasing customers just to get that color. So yeah, very difficult. Yes, sir.
Do you have final say on what actually gets on the TV show?
I have almost complete say. Yeah. Look, I didn't buy it because I'm not quite that smug, but there's a sign on my office that says "My garage, my rules." Now, the fact is long after the film crews leave, long after anybody cares about the TV show, there's going to be a shop of films. I always remember that. Again, we are not a group of TV stars that shoot a mock car show. We're a garage that has cameras that run around and watch what we do. Very, very different, approach to what it is we do here. And I never forget that. And so for me, the shop will always come first. So I really don't care all that much what the network wants in terms of cars, or what they expect to see. I build cars that make sense for us as a shop, that do well for us. And by the way, it's really nice because the network, in the very beginning, they made some hints and suggestions. They stopped. They figured out that, look, Dan's going to do what the hell Dan wants to do, and that's pretty much all there is to it. I've always been that way, and so it isn't just for them. I mean, that's who I am. And so as a result, they basically have said, you know what? If you like it and you want to build it and you like the customer, that's probably good enough for us. And that's, for the most part, with almost zero exception, the network has been very good. They don't try and get in my knickers at all. They just leave me alone and they say, you build cars, you let us film it, we are happy. Yeah.
What was your shop built originally as?
This building was originally built, and we think, and if anybody out there knows, we would love to have the archival data. We think it was built in around 1920, so it's approaching 100, and it was built as a national linen. This was a monster laundromat that stayed a laundromat all the way up until, I think, around 1990. Then from 1990 to 2010, when I purchased it, for those 20 years, at least 50, 60, 70 different types of businesses existed in this building. Everything from lawn and garden stuff to there were paint shops in it. There was this particular room right here, artists were hanging out in it doing, we think it was all LSD-inspired art. There was a vegetable stand, and the two most interesting things in this building that I don't know if they existed at the same time, but it's a story if they did. It was both a church and a porno studio in this building, and I would almost like to think that that happened concurrently, just so that they could work on each other. Like, come on over to this side. That's the wrong side to be on, and the church actually had some influence on that. But yeah, this building was everything for those 20 years, and I think this will be the last thing this building ever is, which is FantomWorks. All right, Audrey, you need to take. You realize what time you're getting to, right?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
one
gonna
last question from anyone, and then it's time for Audrey to go. Yes?
Do you have a running tally of the vehicles you built here since you opened up?
Well, I didn't plan on doing that. We've had 3 different systems that track the vehicles, and if you add up the invoices from the 3 systems here...
Hi, everyone. All right, so we are finishing up in there. So real quick to finish up some of your stuff. We are hourly. We are not flat rate. Dan's favorite build is a Corvette that we did. We've taken it to SEMA twice now. That was a really awesome one. Have you ever had any cars out of the country sent to you for restoration? Yes, we have. We actually have one in the shop at the moment. But the 6 T-Bird that we did on the show went to Monaco, I believe. I'd like to see you working on an Opal. Keep watching the show. You never know. Have you ever... Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to backtrack because it's hard with all these questions. No, we have never taken a vehicle to Barrett-Jackson, but Barrett-Jackson is awesome. I really enjoy watching that show. We do not flip cars. In fact, that is one of Dan's biggest points when it comes to pricing, to spend 30 grand on it or something like that, or wanting to spend 10 grand. I think that is not a thing that we do. All right, we are going to head off because I have to start taking everyone around the shop now. We'll try to do this again next week. Sorry, the connection's being really wonky. Thank you, Miss Audrey. You were very welcome. And I hope everyone enjoyed it today. And have a wonderful weekend. Be safe.